So Art Laffer was, I couldn't say anything, but, it was fine. I knew he was going to be right, and we were right. That was the story of the 80s and 90s. And that's why Jennison Associates and the chief investment officer there, Sig Sigalis, gave me an opportunity to get into equity research. I wanted to grow. I loved the stock market. And he loved my conviction. And so he started me on cyclical companies, which, of course, I would know a lot about. But Jennison was primarily a tech-oriented firm. And of course, knowing that, I wanted to delight the boss. I wanted to get into the technologies, and I made it my business to know as much about them. And I was the only one willing to research stocks outside the U.S. Think about that now.
Arthur Laffer?
Yes.
He wrote this letter.
Oh, he did?
He wrote this letter describing you.
Oh, to you?
To me.
Oh.
He said there was this young lady named Cathie Duddy, later Cathie Wood, whose face was the map of Ireland and whose ambition was over the moon. I was a tough teacher and grader, and Cathie's first steps were shaky, but in short order she rose to the occasion and aced the course. Impressed as I was, and believe me, I was very impressed, I helped Cathie land her first job at Capital Group in LA, and from that point in time it was game on. I followed her career closely after Capital Group, then on to Tipillo, and her final job as an employee at Alliance Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
As you may imagine, she was the star investor at each stage. And in 2014, Cathie took a giant entrepreneurial leap in the founding and funding of Ark Invest. And the letter goes on to say she's a mega success and God bless her. She never has forgotten her now aged professor.
Well, that was very nice of him. So he has been so important to my career. Now I'm going to get a little weepy, but I gave him 1% of my company when I started it. And so he deserved it. He deserved it because he gave me a big break. He believed in me first.
Why does that make you emotional?
I don't know. We've gone through our life together. And what's so interesting now is so interesting and fun is Bitcoin has rejuvenated Art. He's 85 years old or 84, and I'm seeing his excitement, and he wants to spread the word around the world. And now we're going into stable coins together. And he just started an account on X. He has a flip phone. He doesn't do email, and yet he has just started an account on X. And so we now have this technology relationship because he wasn't going to technology, but he knows, he's seen, like, Ark altogether, we have 3.3 million followers. And he's seen the reach that X has. And he's also, I think the other thing, and I haven't answered your question, it was just very nice of him to do that, and I see it's a typed one page and very sweet.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the last guest leaves a question for the next guest, not knowing who they're leaving it for. And the question left for you is, great question for you. What is the craziest idea you ever had that turned out to be right?
Well, there are just a few. One thing that it's not that crazy, but it just gives you a sense of how not obvious in the early days of Ark. I remember saying, well, autonomous vehicles are robots. And I was in a research meeting and everybody said, no, they're not. And of course they are. It's a crazy idea, and there was something, there are some things I'll say, and the reason that's important from our point of view is this convergence idea.